Thank you, Conference. Firstly, let me congratulate Jeremy on his victory in the leadership contest and commiserate Owen Smith. Jeremy, it was an impressive and a decisive win. As ever, it's a great pleasure to give my annual report to Conference as your General Secretary. Isn't it great to be here in Liverpool, a wonderful, modern, European city, proud of its past and looking confidently to the future. A Labour city with a progressive Labour Council led by Joe Anderson, and a fantastic candidate in next year's Metro Mayor elections, Steve Rotherham. Steve, I know you'll be a brilliant Labour candidate and a fantastic Labour Mayor. And of course, good luck to Andy Burnham in Greater Manchester and Sean Simon in the West Midlands. Labour candidates, Labour values. We wish you all the best in the campaigns ahead. Millions of people have voted in elections across the UK since we last met. In Scotland, the result was devastating for Labour, losing seats not only to the SNP, but also to the Tories and coming third. We have so much to do to regain the trust of the people of Scotland, but Kezia has started that fight back. In Wales, our share of the vote dropped, but we held on. And I'm delighted that Carwyn Jones remains as First Minister. In council elections, Labour suffered a net loss of councillors. But we won more seats than the Tories, and we won the elections in terms of share of the vote. And let's celebrate a great mayoral success. Labour's candidate, Marvin Rees, winning in Bristol. Conference, there have been 4 parliamentary by-elections since we last met, in seats previously held by Labour MPs. And I'm pleased to say we won in each of those 4 seats. We welcome Jill Furness in Sheffield Brightside, Jim McMahon in Oldham Weston Royton, Chris Elmore in Aldmore. And that brings me to the 4th by-election this year. Conference, we should be delighted to welcome Rosanna Allen-Khan, the new MP for Tooting. Right up until her election, Rosanna was a doctor in A&E at St George's Hospital, where my kids were born. And why was there a by-election in Tooting? Well, we all know the reason. Because the MP for Tooting, whose dad apparently was a bus driver, went and got himself a new job. It's a big role with huge responsibilities, and he's making a great job of it. Conference, let's celebrate the success of Sadiq Khan as Labour Mayor of London. You know, there were moments when I almost felt sorry for Zach Goldsmith. Almost, but not quite. All that money, all that privilege, yet Zach couldn't buy his way into City Hall. A Tory campaign tinged with xenophobia and racism and hate. The Tory campaign was a disgrace, and it deserved to lose. You know, I'm so proud of London, modern, diverse, multicultural, a city that said no to hate and division. 4 by-elections, 4 Labour wins, 4 new members of the PLP, and there's one member of the PLP on our minds more than most this week, and that's Jo Cox. Jo was doing the job she loved, serving the people she loved, in the place she loved. Jo was murdered because of what she represented. She spoke of unity, of hope, of a vision of a better world, and she was taken from us by bigotry and ignorance and hate. The outpouring of grief since her death, shaped by the quiet dignity of Brendan, her husband, and her family, reminds us that love will always triumph over hate. Today, following discussions and conversations with Jeremy, I'm pleased to announce the Jo Cox Women in Leadership programme, a brand new mentoring scheme delivered in partnership with the fantastic Labour Women's Network. Over the next 5 years, we will train over 600 future women leaders, our biggest ever mentoring and development programme. Jo was a true champion of women in leadership roles and international feminism. And this programme will create a generation of women who can continue Jo's fight in local government, in Parliament, and crucially in their communities, a fitting tribute to Jo's life and work. On Friday, the members of Batley and Spen selected our Labour candidate for the by-election on the 20th of October, Tracy Braben. Tracy, good luck for the election. And let's reflect a moment on what it means to have a Labour MP. It means hard-working champions in their community. It means Labour values of compassion, tolerance and justice. It means relentless surgeries and casework. It means endless work on the doorstep, on the streets and in the town squares. It means men and women drawn from the communities they serve, hard-working Labour champions winning seats for Labour and denying the Tories, the Liberals or UKIP that extra seat in Parliament. That's what the PLP is, Labour through and through and deserving of our wholehearted gratitude and support. Let me now report on the finances of the party. For the past 5 years, I've focused on getting the party's finances back into shape. It's been tough. Those historic debts totalled almost £25 million in 2006. But after years of living with that burden, I'm delighted to report that at the end of last year, we paid off all of our debts, becoming debt-free. Becoming debt-free coincided with the surge in membership. The money the new members will add to our funds helps put the party in its strongest financial position for a generation. The Labour Party is debt-free. Just need to get into government and sort out the country now. I want to say something about the people who work for the Labour Party. Paddy touched on it, and thank you, Paddy. We expect a huge amount from them. I expect a huge amount from them. They work endless weekends and evenings. They drop everything to go and fight by-elections or work on local elections. They put this party conference together year after year. They are some of the brightest and the best our movement has. I value them, I respect them, and I stand in solidarity with them whenever they come under attack. And so, because without them, our movement would be weaker. We all owe a massive debt of gratitude to the party staff, and I know that they want me to pass on their thanks to the NEC for their support over the last year and years, and to Paddy Lillis as our chair this year. Thank you, Paddy. Let me turn now to the biggest event of the year, if not the decade. The referendum on Britain's membership of the European Union. Labour ran a strong campaign under Alan Johnson. Alan and his campaigners made the arguments about job and trade and investment in every part of Britain. Alan deserves our gratitude for the campaign that he fought and led. There's a but it wasn't enough. UKIP and the right argument won, and that's a very bitter pill for us to swallow. So we as a party need to learn the lessons from the Brexit vote and listen to what people are telling us about their communities, their workplaces, their nations, and their sense of security. This must be a process shaped by Jeremy, by Labour, as much as by Theresa May. It must not be an excuse to throw away decades of accumulated rights and protections for British workers. Hard fought and won by the trade unionists in this hall and by their previous generations. Never forget what Labour has done for British workers, and always be proud of our achievements. Maternity, paternity rights, the national minimum wage, Sure Start centres, the right to join a union, the NHS. There will always be those Tories who want to write off Labour's years and pretend that no good come of them. Let's make sure none of us ever fall into that Tory trap. Labour was created for a very specific purpose, explicit from the very start. And that purpose is stated in black and white in our Constitution: to organise and maintain in Parliament and in the country a political Labour Party. And the party shall bring together members and supporters who share our values. That's our party, a party founded to win elections and form governments, to make our values real through practical change. It's a powerful idea, and I haven't heard a better one. And exercising power and making choices, just like our Labour councillors, our police commissioners, our mayors do, day in, day out, week in, week out. And as Jeremy has said, no purpose is superior to the cause of winning elections and delivering real change for people. Let me just finish on this. Finally, conference, let us look to the future. We have come through the leadership election. Alongside our Deputy Leader, Tom Watson, I know Jeremy and the Shadow Cabinet will now take the fight to the Tories in the coming months and years. We are on a general election footing, and we must be ready. This is a party with now over 500,000 members, united in our desire to defeat the Tories. This is a terrible Tory government, split over Europe, tacking to the right on every issue, in dispute with the junior doctors, and out of step with modern Britain. They're even talking about bringing back grammar schools, a uniquely divisive and demonstrably unsuccessful policy. And they think they can talk like this because Labour is too busy talking to itself. Well, no more. So we will step up our opposition in Parliament. We will campaign on the doorsteps with our many new members at the forefront of the door knocking, leaflet dropping and campaigning across the communities. And we will reconnect with voters we've lost in recent years and reach out to the new ones. That's the job of Jeremy, it's the job of Tom, it's the job of the PLP and our councillors, it's the job of the unions, it's the job of everyone with a party card, it's the job for all of us. Theresa May has never won a general election, and our task now as a strong, confident Labour Party is to make sure she never does. Thank you, Conference.